So this Japanese guy stole a dog's house and moved in himself. And honestly, you can't really blame him once you hear the whole story. After working his whole life to buy a house, he suddenly had no place of his own left in it. Every room was taken over by the kids. If he turned on the TV, his son, studying for exams, would yell at him for being too loud. His wife kept nagging him about not earning enough. So Mr. Yanechi started staying late at the office every day until the security guard literally kicked him out. Even the local cafes didn't want him around anymore. He'd order one coffee and sit there all evening. The convenience store clerks were annoyed too. He'd stand there reading magazines every night and never buy a thing. Luckily, Shirakuro showed up just in time and bought him some Odin. That way, Yanechi finally spent some money and the clerk couldn't throw him out. Shirakuro felt bad for the guy, so he offered him a place to stay, somewhere Yanechi could relax after work. He could use anything inside, with just one rule: no bringing women over. Shirakuro didn't want to break up anyone's family. Yanechi agreed right away. Women are nothing but trouble, he thought. The next day, as soon as work ended, Yanechi bolted from his desk. His co-workers were shocked. He never left that early. He was buying groceries and enjoying some real alone time. Man, it felt good, like being young again. He cooked his own meal, watched his favorite shows. Then suddenly, the doorbell rang like crazy. A woman rushed inside, saying some creep was following her. Yanechi suggested calling the police, but she said the guy was a customer at her shop. She couldn't. She begged to just hide for a little while. Yanechi remembered Shirakuro's warning, but figured she was just like him, nowhere else to go. So he let her stay. She was super grateful. That Sunday, Yanechi got ready to go out again, lying that work was super busy. He didn't even have time for breakfast. His wife got suspicious, so their son decided to follow him. Just as Yanechi was making breakfast at his hideout, that woman showed up again with food to thank him. She started cooking and even did his laundry. Yanechi rushed over to stop her, and that's exactly when his son saw them and snapped a photo. Back home, his wife demanded to know who she was. Yanechi tried to explain, but his wife wasn't listening. She went off about how hard her life had been all these years. When she wouldn't stop, Yanechi yelled, "Just shut up and let me explain." That set her off completely. She started throwing things from the table. Yanechi couldn't take it anymore. He ran out of the house. He tried to go back to Shirakuro's place, but it was already gone, repossessed. Yanechi wondered if this was all a setup by Shirakuro. But Shirakuro wasn't even mad. He just told Yanechi to man up and take responsibility as the head of the family. The next morning, Yanechi still hadn't come home. His daughter was worried. Even his wife felt a little bad for going so hard on him. Then their son got annoyed by a dog barking outside. He went to check it out, and there was Yanechi curled up inside the doghouse. Maybe being the breadwinner is tough. So tell me, would you ever get so fed up with family life that you just run away? Every employee earns over $400,000 per month in this bizarre corporate department, yet they can do whatever they want during work hours. Some sleep all day, some immerse themselves in drawing, and some even drink alcohol without anyone interfering. The reason is simple: all employees here are losers exiled by the company. They are allowed to do anything except resign and leave. Kobayashi, the newcomer, couldn't stand this caged lifestyle. But the moment closing time arrived, the entire department instantly vanished. No one was willing to listen to his complaints. A senior in the department told him, only when the company celebrates a major occasion would one person be granted special pardon and transferred to a normal department. This time, the most likely candidate was Kawashima, who spent his days cutting out newspapers. He had already been stuck here for a full decade. One night, Kobayashi stumbled into the demon salesman Shirakuro on his way home, drunk. After hearing Kobayashi's troubles, Shirakuro kindly sent the beautiful colleague Shizuka to help. As soon as Shizuka arrived, she prepared movies to entertain everyone, volunteered as a model for the department's artist, and quickly got along with all the members, except for Kawashima, whom Kobayashi had led the others in isolating. He consistently refused Shizuka's approaches. Kobayashi remembered Shirakuro saying that Shizuka was there to help everyone, yet he still advised her not to bother with Kawashima. Don't mind him, just stay and watch movies with me. Shizuka accepted Kobayashi's suggestion. Soon, the company's special pardon was announced. Kawashima was indeed promoted to section chief, but he chose to end his life. Shizuka was devastated. She had come to help everyone in the department, but now, consumed by guilt over Kawashima's death, she decided to leave. Kobayashi desperately tried to stop her, but on the way, he was intercepted by Shirakuro. The demon whispered, "Shizuka was sent to help everyone, yet you took the lead in isolating him. Now, you will all face punishment." He was the only man who could outdrink the demon salesman. Watanabe was known as the guy who never got drunk, but because of that, no one dared to drink with him. Even the salesman Shirakuro, who wanted to discuss business, fell victim to his endless toasts. When Watanabe ran into Shirakuro again at the bar, he immediately invited him for another round. Shirakuro waved his hands in panic, but a demon's pride couldn't be trampled, so he brought Yoshiko along to regain his dignity. The two heavy drinkers hit it off instantly. It was as if they'd found a kindred spirit. By the time Watanabe was only halfway through his drink, Yoshiko had already finished a full glass. Seeing how well they were getting along, Shirakuro Shirakuro came up with an idea. What if we start from Shinjuku, drink for 20 minutes at each station, and conquer all of Tokyo in one night? They loved the plan and immediately began their pub crawl challenge. After several rounds, Watanabe was starting to struggle. He grew increasingly unsteady, and by the final stop, it was clear he couldn't go on. There were still 15 minutes until the last train. Staring at the neon-lit signs around him, Watanabe suddenly invited Yoshiko to a hotel to rest for a bit. But that would mean failing their Tokyo drinking mission. Watanabe insisted, "They have drinks inside too, and I'm fast. We'll make the last train." Yoshiko flatly refused. Instead, she dragged him to a random street stall. When the owner handed them cups, Yoshiko stopped him. "Bowls are better for real drinking." That scared not only Watanabe, but even the stall owner. Yoshiko downed the entire bowl in one go. Then it was Watanabe's turn. When he hesitated, Yoshiko decided to help him out and forced the whole bowl down his throat. Drunk and disoriented, Watanabe let his instincts take over. He tried to get handsy with Yoshiko. That made her furious. She stormed off, leaving him passed out on the ground. Watching Watanabe lying there unconscious, Shirakuro smiled in satisfaction. The elderly Japanese man Miyazaki believed that cars and houses were just temporary toys in life. If you asked him what really lasts the longest, he'd say it's the coffin. One day during his walk, he spotted one he liked. But a coffin alone wasn't enough. He also needed his own burial plot. However, land in Japan was scarce. Even temples had no available space. If he bought a plot in the countryside, it would be too inconvenient for his wife to visit his grave. Even after death, Miyazaki wanted his wife to come see him often. But his wife grew upset when he brought it up. She didn't want to hear such gloomy talk. Still, that didn't shake Miyazaki's determination. He finally found an available gravesite near their home, and the temple abbot happened to be running a special. For just 30 million yen, he could rest there forever. It really is a long-term investment, he thought wryly. But the staggering price made him hesitate. After that, Miyazaki visited various cemeteries. He was determined to find the perfect final resting place. His wife was increasingly annoyed. Instead of wandering around graveyards, why not come to the hot springs with me? But Miyazaki didn't give up. One day, while browsing burial brochures, he came across a business card. He contacted the man named on it, the salesman Shirakuro. Shirakuro soon found him a suitable spot. It was a bit far, but he promised it would meet all of Miyazaki's requirements. However, just getting there took a full day, hardly what Miyazaki had in mind. Shirakuro grew angry. "I help you for free, and this is the thanks I get?" He decided to punish Miyazaki. From that day on, Miyazaki would have to live in that very gravesite. And so, Miyazaki moved into the cemetery. On their way home, he and his wife met an elderly neighbor. She remarked, "It's okay if I forget my husband's death anniversary. I can visit his grave every day here." The couple nodded in agreement. They were grateful for Shirakuro's help. After moving in, they felt truly at peace.
ここなら死んだ後でもお前と一緒にいられるから寂しくないな。
嫌ですよ。でも本当安心して余生を過ごせるわね。
お前105まで、わしゃ99までか。
住まいと兼用のお墓とは業者も考えたもんですね。しかしよく見ると都会のビルディングの方がずっと墓場みたいですね。もっとも現代の都会人は生きながら埋葬されてるようなもんですからね。
This Japanese man had a beautiful wife and adorable children. Yet after a one-night stand with another woman, he coldly abandoned her. Kobayashi was on a business trip when he developed a crush on a beautiful woman he met. It just so happened that the salesman Shirakuro was there too, and with his help, Kobayashi learned all kinds of details about her. When he found out she had never been in a relationship, he pursued her even more intensely. Their connection quickly grew passionate, but Kobayashi was already married. Shirakuro urged him to be honest about his situation before things went further. Instead, Kobayashi broke his promise, lied about being single, and in a moment of recklessness, took her virginity. She was a sincere woman who deserved better, but she'd met a man like Kobayashi. In the end, he walked away without looking back. Later, to protect his family, he even moved to another city to avoid her, but the woman hadn't given up on him. She eventually learned from Shirakuro that Kobayashi had a wife and children. When Shirakuro showed Kobayashi the brooch he'd given the woman, Kobayashi thought she had finally let go, but Shirakuro's punishment had already begun. On his daughter Yuka's birthday, while she was playing in the garden, she met that woman, who showed up holding Kobayashi's son, her half-brother. When Kobayashi called his daughter inside for birthday cake, he saw someone who should never have been there. For some men, it's just a fleeting passion, but for many women, it's a serious love. However, for the child born from it, they are innocent. So to anyone out there with a guilty conscience, be careful. The past doesn't always stay buried.